This is the ultimate London walk. No cabs, no underground, just your feet and the most iconic sights in the city. In this London walking tour, I'll take you through 13 must-see hotspots all in one day. So if you're planning a real London city walk, this is the best walking route for visitors. So let's hit the streets. First up on our walking tour is Buckingham Palace. Now, Buckingham Palace became the official residence when Queen Victoria moved in 1837. It was originally a townhouse for the Duke of Buckingham and was acquired by King George III in 1761. And I must say, I was not expecting this. I didn't even know it's the King's birthday today, and so it's an absolute treat to have seen a glimpse of the King. I mean, it was a fair distance away. I mean, you can see a lot of people around me. So to have seen the King, the Queen, consort, so wonderful, wonderful experience. So if you are coming to Buckingham Palace, maybe 14th of June is the time, the King's birthday. I mean, you can see the crowd here. It is absolutely phenomenal. You've got Buckingham Palace behind me, so I was waiting around half an hour for the guards, for the anthem, everything to go off, and then, of course, to see a glimpse of the King. Superb experience, and if this is the first time coming to London on a London walk, Buckingham Palace is the place to start. If you are visiting Buckingham Palace, which is the King's official home, you might want to witness the changing of guards, which takes place on these selected dates at this specific time. So you might want to get in there early, especially because the queues do sort of pile up and there's a huge crowd there. But to know whether the King is home or whether the King is away is all to do with the flag that is hosted. So if it is the Union Jack, which is flying above Buckingham Palace, he's not home. But if it is the Royal Standard flag, which is what you're seeing right now as it's his birthday, he's home. He's home indeed. And that's how I've got to see the wonderful His Majesty Royal Highness. So with Buckingham Palace done, we're heading off to the Palace of Westminster to see the Big Ben. It's about an 18-minute walk, so it shouldn't take long, so let's get going. So what do we have here? Oh, who are these bad boys? Two bad pelicans right here. First time I'm seeing pelicans in my life. So 10 minutes into my walk and still walking down Birdcage Walk. So this is the road that we're on. So just straight line down from Buckingham Palace and then we'll come into the line of sight of the Palace of Westminster. I mean, it is a beautiful park just around here. So this is the Green Park, I believe, so just connected to the Green Park. So if you are planning to come and this is the first stop that you do take, you might want to have a bit of a roam around as you would naturally do. I mean, this is a great experience and you get to see a lot of sort of action that isn't a sort of part of Buckingham Palace, but there's a lot of stuff that does happen around here. And I think we're just about to get a first glimpse of the Big Ben. Officially known as the Elizabeth Tower, I think Big Ben is actually the bell itself. So as you've just heard, that's the 13.5-ton bell, Big Ben, ringing. And in fact, it first rang in 1859, and upon lifting it up, it is slightly cracked, which gives it that distorted noise. And in fact, if you want to take the iconic pictures of Big Ben, it's actually from Westminster Bridge. So we're just going to go head over there now so I can show you exactly the picture of Big Ben and also the Palace of Westminster, which is the Houses of Parliament. So this is where you will capture the most iconic images of Big Ben. So officially reached stop 2, which is of course the Big Ben just right behind me. There we go, and the Palace of Westminster. This is on Westminster Bridge. So to get the iconic shot of Westminster Palace and also Big Ben, this is the position you need to be on. I mean, so it was about an 18-minute walk, as I mentioned, from Buckingham Palace. A wonderful walk. You get to see scenic landmarks along the way as well. So give it a go. I mean, not so far from here. In fact, right on the opposite is our third stop, which is the London Eye. So this was built to celebrate the new millennium, the year 2000, and it was only meant to be temporary. But because of the success of it, it's still running today, and usually each circular motion takes around half an hour. So I've been on a few times myself. Highly recommended. But if you are going to get a ticket for the London Eye, don't book individual tickets. You want to get it because it's actually owned by Merlin. So you want to actually get the Merlin Discovery passes or annual passes or even weekly passes and just collate a few of those activities together. I'll show you as I pop just over there what sort of activities you can do along with the ticket for the London Eye. As a bit of a bonus, if you want to hop on to the city cruises to experience the River Thames, you might want to jump onto this particular boat here on Westminster Pier. I mean, it's around 13 to 17 pounds depending on the time of the year, just underneath the London Eye. So you'll go from Westminster to London Eye all the way to Tower Hill, which is right next to Tower Bridge. So there's a few stops that it does do, and you can hop in and hop off. Totally up to you. Walking down the stairs to reach right underneath the London Eye, but as you can see, there's quite a few places around here that's being advertised. So there's a lot to see other than just the London Eye itself. You'll be able to witness the Sea Life Aquarium, which is one of the Merlin adventures as part of the pass that you're able to get. There's also a new one, the Paddington Bear experience. So that's one, especially with young kids, you might want to experience here. They also have the London Dungeon, which I've done a couple of times myself. I highly recommend it. In fact, if you if you want to experience something, if you are a bit squeamish, I mean, highly recommend it if you want to get a bit more of a chill and a thrill from your experience here in London, especially when you're right next to the London Eye. So, I mean, if I was to give my honest opinion as to what sort of activities you should do once you are here, I mean, the London Dungeon, as I referenced, highly recommended. The Sea Life Aquarium, highly recommended. And of course, the London Eye. You can't come to London without experiencing the London Eye. But one to perhaps avoid is the one behind me, Shrek's Adventure. Yeah, it's not really value for money, that one. You don't get much of a feel or a thrill. I mean, maybe for kids, yes, but you are taking your kids, right? Well, I've taken a few of my nephews and nieces to this. Did they enjoy it? Not really. So it didn't give them that buzz that they needed. But just my thought. You can't come to London and not have fish and chips. That's the typical traditional British food, right? Where best to have it? Then here, right behind in County Hall. So that has a fish and chips place that you're able to eat. So I actually brought my friend over here when he first arrived to London. He absolutely loved it. Though it's a bit pricey than the normal shops you go into, but if you're right underneath the London Eye, of course it's going to be pricey, but worth the experience. So pay a few extra just to get that thrill and the feel of being in London in the UK. In fact, on a very clear day, you're able to see roughly around 40 kilometers in distance. So that means you're able to see Windsor Castle. So if on a nice, beautiful, sunny, blue sky day you're in London, hop on, you might just be able to get a glimpse of not only Buckingham Palace, but Windsor Castle, both at the same time. So that's stop 3 done. Now off to Trafalgar Square, which is about a 16-minute walk, as you can see on the map. There's a lot happening right ahead of me there, which I'll show you. But that, when we get to Trafalgar Square, that would be my stop for a bit of lunch. And this walk is just full of life, right? A lot of energy, a lot of music, a lot of buzz, a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, and a lot of food as well. So try to grab yourself something if you're here. I mean, they will be a little pricey. As you can see, this is a tourist hotspot. But I'm just about to go up the Jubilee Garden bridges, so the Golden Jubilee bridges, to get across the river, as you can see, to get to Trafalgar Square. So as you continue this London walk, what have you made of it so far? Some of the major hotspots, getting to even see the King today. I mean, this was so unexpected. So please do put your comments in the comment section below. Do press like and make sure you subscribe. I want to hit the 1,000 mark as quickly as possible. As you walk down Northumberland Avenue, Trafalgar Square is just straight down. Can't see it just yet, but once we get there we'll get a really good glimpse, and obviously we'll be staying there for a bit of a while just to roam around. So I've reached stop 4 on the London walking tour, and I must say a little disappointed today because there's an event taking place here tomorrow, which is why it's closed off. But when you are here on Trafalgar Square, obviously you'll have the hype and energy of what Trafalgar Square brings, but also there's the National Gallery right behind here. So we'll pop in there just to have a quick look. But typically this place will be buzzing with a lot of tourists. As you can see, they're all right behind here, but it'll be typically a lot busier than this. I mean, there's a lot of statues here. The 4 lions is something you want to see. The fountain, which you want to see as well. A few splashes there as well. But also the Nelson's column, which is very famous regarding Admiral Nelson. So let's have a quick pop into the National Gallery. Wow, this is fascinating. I mean, all these paintings tell a history, right? So these are paintings from 13th to 16th century paintings. So if you're interested in these little things, then have a visit to the National Gallery. These are 15th to the 20th century paintings. Oh, this is fascinating. I mean, all of this completely, absolutely free. You don't have to pay a penny, you just walk in. So when you're in Trafalgar Square and you want to get a different experience, why not just pop in to the National Gallery? As we conclude our trip here at Trafalgar Square, we are now heading to Leicester Square. So the National Gallery was a wonderful treat. We are now going down Whitcomb Street, which leads us straight to Leicester Square. Now, Leicester Square is the heart of all the entertainment. And when I talk about entertainment, the red carpet events, the cinemas, the food, all of that. So you might even get to see 1 or 2 celebs if we're lucky. I mean, you just have to be very lucky on one of those days. As you walk up to Leicester Square, all I can smell is food. And my stomach is rumbling. We've been walking for about 3 hours now, just coming on to our next stop. But right ahead of me, I can see Chinatown. So that's an extra bonus on your walking tour right there. So maybe a trip to Chinatown will be something that's worthwhile for you as well on your journey. But I need to grab something to eat. This is the famous M&M store. I mean, all tourists come here. So if you are in Leicester Square, you must pop into M&M. Another tourist hotspot is the Lego store. So this is all at the entrance to Leicester Square on the route we've taken. And there we have it right in front of us. That is Leicester Square. So we'll do a roam around. What I love when we're in Leicester Square are these miniature statues that you get to see. So this is Mary Poppins. Gonna get a glimpse of Paddington there. There he is. It's just an absolutely fabulous feeling here in Leicester Square. Just the vibe, the energy, the excitement, the passion. I mean, there's a lot going on around here. Whether you've got as I mentioned, the food, the cinemas, there's a lot of stuff to see. It is an absolutely insane place to be, and one highly recommended on your walking tour of London. So as part of your city walk of London, you should do this. This is a must-visit place. So now en route to stop 6, which is Covent Garden, which is a 6-minute walk from Leicester Square. So it shouldn't take us long to get there. What did you make out of Leicester Square? Do you think it's worth the visit? Of course it is. There's no denying that, right? But it is getting pretty jam-packed. I did have a quick bite to eat, and then now just heading over to Covent Garden to see what Covent Garden is all about and to give you a glimpse of Covent Garden. So as we head to Covent Garden, in fact Covent Garden itself was the first planned square here in London. In fact for over 300 years it was just a fruit and veg market, but now it's rooted to theatre and opera and home to the Royal Opera House. So from Leicester Square we take Great Newport Street, which connects with Garrick Street, and that's the street we walked down. We take a left onto King Street. How convenient for today, celebrating the King's birthday. And as you can see in Covent Garden, there's already performances. And this is what you will see, entertainment performances taking place. And we are taking a walk down to the heart of Covent Garden.
Because it's nothing.
As you're doing the London walking tour, be sure to carry a drink or a bottle of water with you, highly important, especially on a sunny day and a hot day like this. But we're here at Covent Garden. I'll just show you around. It's a fabulous place, and there's a lot to see inside the garden itself, the market, the Covent Garden market. So worth the exploring once you are here on your journey. And if there's anything you like, you purchase. Usually here there would be a performance taking place on this particular pathway. I think it's just getting set up there.
So a couple quick checks and then we start the show for real. But like I say, quick trick, just to say thank you for stopping.
So we're officially halfway through our London walk. Next stop is Somerset House. So we're walking down Southampton Street just off Covent Garden, heading to Somerset House. Now Somerset House is often used for art exhibitions and even sometimes movies as well, filming. So it's a really nice place, especially for scenic photographs as well that you want to take. So let's go check it out, and I'm sure you'll get a good glimpse of whether you want to visit Somerset House on your London walk. Go left onto Strand, and now Somerset House is approximately a 9-minute walk from Covent Garden. I mean, Strand is very popular. I mean, if you ever played the Monopoly board game, this is one of the places on the Monopoly board game. Strand Palace Hotel right behind me. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we arrive at Somerset House. So as we arrive at Somerset House, the courtyard itself is absolutely stunning. Gives me an impression of visiting the Louvre in Paris. It kind of gives that sort of vibe, especially the surrounding. So the courtyard itself is actually free to enter. But if you want to go see the exhibitions inside, they do cost money. So just be wary of that. And it's around £29 to go see the exhibition, the art exhibitions that are there. But I mean, as a place just to relax and enjoy the scenic view, especially after a walk, or even take a break during your walking tour of London, I'd say this is a pretty darn good spot. As we exit Somerset House, our next stop is St. Paul's Cathedral, which is literally just a straight 20-minute walk down that path there. So let's grab our stuff and let's get going, because this is going to be a pretty awesome walk in this phase of the trip as we enter, in fact, our second phase of the trip itself. So as we continue our walk, right behind me is King's College. In fact, I spoke at King's College just last year, in fact twice last year. So happy memories right here behind me. This is the Royal Court of Justice as we're walking past right now. I really hope this video has done justice for you in terms of opting to walk through London City rather than take the bus or London Underground. We're almost there, getting our first glimpses of St. Paul's Cathedral. It was in 1534 that King Henry VIII passed the Act of Supremacy, breaking away from the Catholic Church and declaring himself supreme head of the Church of England. And St. Paul's Cathedral became a key symbol of that shift. As you can see over there, there's a wedding taking place. Now, most notably, regarding the St. Paul's Cathedral, the most famous wedding of all perhaps that took place is the wedding of Princess Diana. On top of that, the dome itself up there is also prestige for its name, simply because of the fact that it survived the Blitz during World War II. So St. Paul's Cathedral itself holds great value and great significance to the history of Great Britain. Very busy around here, as you can imagine. And we are right in front of it now. It is a beautiful piece of architecture. So with St. Paul's Cathedral right behind me, in fact just walking towards the Millennium Bridge, there are a few stalls, food stalls, that you can also benefit from here. Lovely food, whether it's noodles, whether it's Indian food. I mean, there's quite a few variety of options, so give it a try. But the most scenic and most iconic place to take a picture of St. Paul's Cathedral is on Millennium Bridge itself. The bridge, however, was once known as the Wobbly Bridge, because once it did open in 2000, it did wobble. But don't be so afraid to walk across it, because it's been rectified. So if you do want to get admissions into St. Paul's Cathedral, you will need to get a ticket. It'll cost you around £25 for entry, but you can also go to the roof as well and get a real beautiful view of London just from there. But what we're going to do now is head to our next stop here on the London walking tour, which is across the Millennium Bridge to the Tate Modern. But we'll get that glimpse, as I mentioned, of St. Paul's Cathedral from Millennium Bridge, which is the iconic location to take the pictures. So if you are coming on this route, you want that photo. And as you can see, as we're walking across the Millennium Bridge, right over there is Tower Bridge, and that will be our final stop for our London walking tour. But before we get to Tower Bridge, there's a few more still to do on this route itself. I mean, just almost at the central point of the bridge, where I want to show you the iconic glimpse of St. Paul's Cathedral. And there you have it. That is the beautiful scenic view of St. Paul's Cathedral. I mean, you would want to ideally come on a pretty empty day where the bridge is fairly empty, where you can take shots from different angles capturing St. Paul's Cathedral. Wow, what an iconic view that is. There we go. Put that in your photo memory box. We've almost reached the Tate Modern, so we'll have a quick glimpse inside, just to give you an idea of all the modern artwork that takes place and is exhibited here at the Tate Modern. Just about to enter the Tate Modern itself. This used to be a power station back in the days, which is now converted into an art exhibition. Very unusual modern art. There's a lot of interesting things to see here, not your typical fine art, paintings and things like that that really hit you emotionally, but worth having a glimpse, especially just to get an idea of what the Tate Modern has to offer, because it is different. Fascinating art. I mean, how would you interpret that? So that was just a quick glimpse of the Tate Modern. We've only explored just one of the floors there. There's two sides to the Tate Modern, so you're able to go up to the around 10th floor on one side and the 6th floor on another, so there's a lot of artwork to see. We just got a quick glimpse just to show you on this walking tour. Now, next up is Shakespeare's Globe. Now, this is a reconstruction of Shakespeare's original theatre. Now, when performances take place at the Shakespeare's Globe, people are actually standing. So you're not sitting down and watching, you are standing, just like they did in the 1600s. So a great experience. The interior architect of the Shakespeare's Globe is how it was back in the days. So it gives that authentic expression, impression, whatever you want to call it. But it's about a 5-minute walk from here, so quite close to the Tate Modern itself. So you're just going to walk along the banks of the river just to get there. Whether you do the full walking tour or not, just walking along the banks of the river in itself is an absolute treat.
And where are you going to sleep?
And just a quick walk after the Tate Modern, here we are at the Shakespeare's Globe. So with Shakespeare's Globe right behind me, there's in fact people lining up for a performance, a show taking place. Ticket prices usually start from around £27, if not less, depending on the time of year and depending on when the show is during the day. So worth having a look. I mean, if you want to experience one of Shakespeare's plays, why not? I mean, this is pretty much why you're in London, to get a glimpse of the culture, the history. No one demonstrates it better than Shakespeare himself. So we are now heading to Borough Market, which is approximately around an 8-minute walk from here. Just right behind me, as I say, is Shakespeare's Globe. So we're going to take this route down there to get to Borough Market. Now, Borough Market itself is a very, very famous place. In fact, it's the oldest market here in London. So you cannot come to London and not experience Borough Market. What do you experience there? I mean, lots of food, pastries, global cuisines, it's all there. I've been a few times already myself. The food is absolutely delicious. You get to see people actually making it all live. I mean, there's a lot of fresh produce there as well. So worth an absolute treat. And in fact, from Borough Market, in fact, that's our penultimate stop on this walking tour. But after this, we'll be then going on to see Tower Bridge. And we have reached the famous Borough Market. And right behind me is Southwark Cathedral. And there's a wedding taking place, hence the wedding bells. So let's go inside to get our glimpse of Borough Market. Oh, and just up there you got the Shard, the tallest building in the UK. It is very, very busy here. Lots of cheese. That's what I'm getting to see. Blocks and blocks of cheese. Ooh, spices. Look at this man cook. Paella, that's what he's making. I mean, it's just a spectacle on its own, just being here. Look at the size of these pans. Food just sizzling away. Fancy your scallops? We've got them right here. What would a market be without its fruit and veg, right? Now that is what you call a penultimate stop on our London walk. You could get lost in there. I mean, you probably need half a day's worth of experience just to experience Borough Market alone. I mean, fascinating stuff. Worldwide cuisine, live cooking. You got all the fruit and veg you could ask for. The blocks of cheese that I saw. I mean, it's just literally the world in one market. Highly recommended as part of your walking experience. Next and most importantly, probably one of the most iconic spots in London, Tower Bridge. We're first going to go to London Bridge just to get the iconic glimpse of Tower Bridge before we actually head to Tower Bridge itself. So you'll start your walk from Borough Market straight down, so just down there towards London Bridge, and that's where you'll get the iconic pictures of Tower Bridge. So we're on London Bridge just now, about to get, in fact, let me show you both the sides. So you've got, this is the side we've just come from. So you can see the top over there, you've got St. Paul's Cathedral. And then on the right-hand side, in fact, just over there, you can see the City of London. That's the walkie-talkie building. which has the Sky Garden on there, which is a free rooftop visit, one of the most iconic sites in London. So, but you do need to book in advance for that. And then on the right hand side, on our final stop, and there you go, Tower Bridge. Just on the left over there, we'll be walking down, and then that will take us straight past the Tower of London, and then we'll be getting ourselves onto Tower Bridge itself. And that is the HMS Belfast. So the HMS Belfast is actually a real Navy warship that fought during World War II and also the Korean War. So this actually fired the very first, or one of the very first shots during the wars. But now it's just as a museum to give you a true experience of what it was like to be inside the HMS Belfast during wartime. So if you want to have a bit more of an extra feel of London and experience a bit of a wartime, then the HMS Belfast is one to experience. This is an iconic place to be standing, because just on my left over there is the Tower of London, and there is insane rich history regarding the Tower of London. It was built by William the Conqueror back about 1,000 years ago, but is most famously known for being the place where Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, was executed. Poor her. Today it's the home of the crown jewels, guarded by the iconic Yemen warders, also known as beef eaters. And as you can see, we are approaching our final destination, Tower Bridge. We are just walking towards the bridge itself, and that will be our 13th and final stop of the London Walk. What have you made of it so far, the whole experience? Make sure you put it down in the comment section below. So you can experience the inside of Tower Bridge as well. You can see right behind me there's in fact quite a long queue for people wanting to go upstairs to have a glimpse of what actually is inside Tower Bridge. I mean, you'll be able to sort of see this sort of ancient design of the bridge itself. It's actually Victorian time in which it was built. Right, the view in the landscape, it's absolutely breathtaking view. And that completes our London walking tour. I must say the best route there is. 6 hours completed all 13 hotspots with a few added bonuses on top. And of course, getting to see His Majesty the King himself, or at least a glimpse of the King. That was an absolute bonus indeed. So I hope you enjoyed it. Do tune in for all my videos, which are going to be upcoming, where I share with you more future experiences of not only London, but England and also the rest of the world. See you then. Ciao.